Hey guys, my name is Zach, and this is Magic the Gallery, the channel where I discuss all the wonderful art of the Magic the Gathering card game. Today we're going to be looking through the red cards of Core Set 2021, and yeah, we're going to get started. First is Battle Rattle Shaman. I quite like the yellow bonfire in the background, or at least I'm assuming there's some sort of bonfire there. Yeah, it's quite cool. I think I'm going to start this one off in B. Bolthound. Now this one's cool. I really like how sleek and muscular the hound is, and it just really, I think, channels what you would expect a hound that's also a lightning elemental would look like, or how it would move. I think there's a lot of energy and movement in this. I'm gonna put this one in A. Bone Pit Brute. Now, I'm not a big fan of a lot of Cyclops and Ogre art across Magic. This one's alright. I do like the tusks as the headpiece, and also their club is quite cool. Background's a bit boring. This one's gonna go in B, but it's gonna go in front of the Battle Rattle Shaman. Brash Taunter. This one's a cool card. I really like the mechanics of this card, but obviously not here to talk about that. But yeah, no, this card is cool. I think it successfully tells the story of what this goblin is doing in taunting all of these other goblins and creatures. So yeah, I like the style as well. The style is quite cool. This one's gonna go in A. Burn Bright. This one's been blended very beautifully. Yeah, that's a very amazing face. The fire in the eyes is obviously what ties it to, you know, the enhanced rage or enhanced passion that they're getting for creatures getting +2/+0. I think the tattoos are really nice, done really well. This one's going to go in A. Top card so far. Chandra Heart of Fire. Now this is the draft pack Chandra, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not a huge fan of when Chandra's hair is glowing like that. I actually prefer the arts where her hair is just regular hair. I think she looks nicer that way. But this one's a bit of an exception. This one's actually been done quite nicely because it's not as just in your face bright. That one of the, I think it's the Planeswalker Chandra, her art later. Sorry, the Planeswalker deck Chandra. The art later that we'll look at, I think it's just like too bright, too in your face, kind of messy. I could be wrong. I could be misremembering it. I've only just glanced at all of these images as I download them into TierMaker. But yeah, no, I'm actually quite liking the fiery hair for this one. You can still see like the strands of it. It's not just like blown out to just a wash of white and orange. Yeah, this one's quite cool. I'm going to put this in A as well. Chandra's Incinerator. Now this one, I feel like the art's a little bit lackluster. The shattered moon in the background is quite cool. But yeah, the mountains, the sky, and even the creature itself, it's pretty boring in my opinion. Put this one down in C. Chandra's Magma. Now this one I actually think does a much better job than the Bolthound in blending the element and the creature. And still, it's an amazing looking dog. I like the fact that the ribs are glowing, not because that's anatomically or elementally correct or anything, just because I think that's cool. Yeah, it's a cool piece. This one's gonna go, I actually think top of A. Chandra's Piling. This one's quite cute. I really like this one. I like the, it looks like it's got a mohawk all the way along it. Like, the way the flames are done looks almost like a furry kind of flame, if that makes sense. Like, that might seem a bit weird. Obviously, it's a scaly creature, it's a lizard. But no, I think that's quite cool. I think that's quite cute. And it's sitting on Chandra's shoulder, and it reminds me of Proud Wild Bonder, I think it was, from Ikoria, which also had a lizard sitting on their shoulder. And yeah, very cute, very nice. And I do like the fact, like, even though it's a very dark background, which is actually quite a nice effect of the light coming from the lizard, but yeah, even though it's dark, you can still clearly see Chandra's face when you're actually close enough to the card, or the image of the card. And I think that's quite cool. I'm going to put this one in A as well. Conspicuous Snoop. I think this one tells quite a bit of a story. I like this style of goblin. I like the tuft of hair, both on his head and on his chin. The nose pressed against the glass is quite quirky. The goblin, second goblin, trying to get up onto the ledge in the back right. That's quite cool as well. Yeah, I think this is a cool card. This one's going to go in A. Nothing for S yet, but nothing for D or F either. You know, pretty good stuff so far. Crash Through. This one's a reprint from one of the Amonkhet sets, probably Hour of Devastation. This one's solid. I'm going to put this one in B. Destructive Tampering. Now this one is a bit hard to tell what's going on. It looks like a vehicle of some sort has been blown up or crashed, or maybe a weapon of some sort. Yeah, this one I will put in A. Put this one up there. So that is there. Gonna try and remember to do that this time. Double Vision. This one I think is a bit average. It clearly displays the concept of what the card is doing. There's two of something. Whoa. But yeah, that's all it is. It's just like concept of the card is things are doubled, so have two people waving their arms around and fire in the image because it's red, so put fire in there. I just think, yeah, it's a bit meh. It does look nice though. Again, concept of creativity and then how nice it looks are hard to measure against each other. I am still going to put it in B, just because it is still well done. Yeah, but it is what it is. Fiery Emancipation. I really like this one. I like how bright the magma and lava is, and it's a very, like, you can see how liquid it is as well and how volatile. I think that's really cool. And the rocks are done really nice. I think, yeah, you just get a really nice sense of how hot the whole atmosphere is. Like the whole air seems to be orange and glowing. Yeah, this one's gonna go in A, I think. We'll chuck it there. Furious Rise. This is really cool art. I love how Klothys is bathed in just this glow of orange from their whip or their lash that they've got. Their spear is there as well. There's just this rain of molten fire down on this town. There is actually a town down at the bottom there, and I think that's really cool. I'm going to put this actually top of A. Okay, let's take a look at this one. The people at the back kind of blend in with the person they're grabbing. It's a bit hard to see where one starts and the other stops. And I know the fire at the left just seems a little bit slapped there just because. I'm going to put this bottom of B. Gadrak the Crown Scourge. This one's quite cool. Often with dragons we just get a look at their whole body, or to show off their wings and stuff, but I think this one really nicely shows just their size in relation to like people, and puts us in the place in front of him. I also like his like disfigured, disformed face. Like it's got like bumps in weird places. I think that's quite cool. There's these ropes or something just draped over him in numerous spots, which I guess were the attempts of the people he's just burnt to a crisp, and they're there, and there's like smoke just rising from their charred bodies. I think that's awesome. Yeah, I like this art quite a lot. I'm gonna put this in A. Goblin Arsonist. This is quite an old piece of art, but I think it's quite cool. I love that he's wearing these really raggedy like oven mitts almost, and holding this massive fire staff, with just like half a hedron as a helmet. I think this is quirky. This is what goblins are in Magic, and I think that's cool. I'm gonna put this one in top of B. I'm actually gonna bring Brash Taunter down to B as well, and maybe Bolt Hound. Yeah, we'll do that for now. Oh, so this is where it's at. I have been forgetting because I put this one down here. That's all good. Goblin Wizardry. This one is really cool. I really love this style of goblin as well. And this is, again, this is just what goblins are in Magic. Like, these are the fun goblins. They're setting a library on fire accidentally, they're ensuing chaos, they're just messing around. And this is what goblin wizardry is compared to human wizardry. It's not refined or anything. Like, just look at that. That's hilarious. So I'm gonna put this one in S. I like the cards with story. Havoc Jester. Yeah, this one's alright. I'll put this one in A. Heartfire Immolator. I'm not over the moon for the landscape of this piece, and the figure is in quite a bit of shadow. Like to see a little bit more of them, but I'm going to chuck this towards the higher end of B. Hellkite Punisher. Yeah, see, this is the more classic dragon position, like composition that you would normally see. It's not bad. It's just nice to see a difference with Gadrick. But you got nice spread wings, dragon coming over the top, breathing down fire. I think they're just incinerating. That looks like just like one lone log cabin on top of a mountain. I really like the clouds in this, and the dragon itself is done beautifully. The point of blue fire right before it turns orange, that's quite cool as well. So I like this art. This one's going to go in A. Somewhere here. Hobblefiend. This is interesting. I like the 3 eyes. That's quite cool. I like the 3 eyes. I like the little bits of rock or bone jutting out from its shoulder. I like the design of this creature. Chuck this in B. Igneous Cur, another elemental dog. This one, the style is very different. This one, like, you can see a lot more of the individual like patches of color. They're not blended, and that's intentional. And I think it's quite cool. I do prefer Chandra's Magmar, but I think I do prefer this one to the Bolt Hound. So it's in the middle of the 2 dogs. I'll chuck it lower end of A. There we go. Kinetic Augur. I don't like the fire effect. It looks kind of like a half-assed anime. The landscape's pretty bleak. It's just a very simple like 2-color semi-transparent fire effect. I think this is going to be our first D. Onake Ogre. The small head in proportion with like the hands and the massive torso, I'm assuming is on purpose. It just looks weird to me, and the big tusk things at their neck then just make the head seem even smaller. And while it is intentional, it just doesn't look right. Like I look at this card and it just seems off. So I'm not a big fan of this. I'm gonna put this in C. Pitchburn Devils. I really like the fire effect, bathing them in light from underneath. The chains on the left are nice. Bit unsure as to what is actually happening in this image, but I think it's pretty cool. I think this belongs in B, around about the middle, which is where we have it. Sanctum of Shattered Heights. This one, I think, compared to the other Sanctums, is again just a bit boring. It's just like, oh, it's red. That means mountains. Let's just chuck a bunch of craggy rocks there. The path. The path is quite interesting because, yeah, that is a path to the Sanctum. And that's clearly not an easy path to travel, which is a very red style thing. It's like, yeah, let's have this refuge up in the mountains, but good luck getting to it. Of course, goblins will give it a good try. Yeah, I think it's a middle ground card. Put it somewhere in B. Scorching Dragonfire. This one's quite nice. I think this one I will put lower end of B, down there. Shock. Not as big on this one. This one's been reprinted a couple of times, this art. The angle of their head's a bit weird. The angle of the lightning seems to be like coming down and then curving back up. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the purple wash over this whole card as well. Yeah, I'm going to put this one down in C. Yeah, I think that art has had its time. Soulseer, this one's really cool. I really like the bright flame effect coming behind the person. Got a little bit of wispy flames coming from the right, our right of the Minotaur's hand. The Minotaur's done really well. The background's alright. Nothing amazing for the background, like the landscape. But yeah, the fiery effect's really nice, and the action of what's happening, the angle. Love it all. This one's going to go towards the top end of A. Spellgorger Weird. This is an example of the style of fire I don't like, where it's just, if you look right above the Spellgorger, it's almost just like perfect white. Just a big blotch of it. And then right beneath at the top, I suppose the top lip of the Spellgorger is just like bright yellow, and it, like, if you look closely, it just basically looks almost like a flat yellow blotch, and that's where it's like, it's very just blotchy, and yeah, I'm not as keen. Like the lighting effect coming behind the Spellgorger, the rays of light. See, that's a nicer effect of light. It's like, it's dynamic. It interacts with the environment a little bit. Actually, it doesn't really. I don't know. It's better than just the big blotchiness. Yeah, not big for this. As always, the Ravnican architecture is nice, but you know, still don't like this card very much. Another C. Subira Tulzidi Caravana. This one's alright. I like Subira herself. Doesn't look incredibly interesting as a character, in my opinion. I think this one somewhere middle of B. That's where we've got things. Sure Strike, another nice reprint. The colours in this are quite nice. The colours of the Eldrazi, when they're not just the grey Eldrazi, like the brightly coloured Eldrazi, tend to add a lot to a lot of cards. And this one's nice and pink. Obviously, got the red glow of the fire on top of him. The design of the Eldrazi is quite interesting. Goblin braving him down. Yeah, it's a good card. I'll put it higher end of B. Terror of the Peaks. This one's cool. I really like the design of the dragon itself in this one. I think that's a really cool looking, like, that's a sick looking dragon. The rest of the image is pretty standard as far as, you know, he's standing on mountains, there's fire beneath him. But like the dragon itself, I really like the look of this dragon. I want to own this card, and one day I will. I just need to put it in order. I have a big bias towards dragons, to be honest. They're my favourite creature type. But yeah, he looks really cool. I really like how he looks. I'm actually going to put him top of A. I'm not going to put him in S just because he's a cool looking dragon. I think the art could do with a bit more story, a bit more in terms of what's going on, and you know, it's got a very limited colour palette, but it's still a cool looking card. Thrill of Possibility. This one I think I will chuck in C. The glow is nice, the sparking effect is nice. His expression's a bit weird. Yeah, that's that card. Traitorous Greed. This is cool. I like the dragon holding the crystals. It's clearly just been paid off to whichever other side of the war. Doing as dragons do and going for the money. I like the armor on the dragon, that's quite nice. It's always cool when dragons' wings like frame part of the card. Yeah, I think this one can go in A. Lots of dragons in red. Love me some dragons. Transmogrify. This one's quite cool. I like the way they've done like the polymorphing effect. It's almost like some tribal tattoo art forming the wolf. I don't think it's quite a wolf, but some sort of cat beast. And yeah, those tendrils are like coming into where the arms, like the shoulders of this Viashino creature. I think that's quite a cool way of depicting that. I'm gonna chuck this in A. Lower end of A. That is there. Look at that. I remembered to do that. Haha. Turn to Slag. This one's cool. This one is really nice. I really like the melting effect. Turn to Slag also. That's just a nice sounding name for a card. This is a goblin creature. This is not a very common style of goblin we see. This one's a little bit more gruesome. Where they're just melting. I think that's done so well. I really like that. I really like how liquid and like how fluid the magma is, or the slag is. I like how bright it is. It seems to be like spurting out and towards the right. The background, I think, in this one doesn't let the card down with how simple it is. I just think that supports the style of what this style of Magic card. I really like this one. I'm actually going to put this as our second S. I like it more than... Oh no, Goblin Wizardry is hilarious. Tara Ogre. This one I'm not a fan of because you can't actually really see the ogre's head. It's covered in like a perfect... like the dust cloud perfectly covers his head. You can't see his facial features. And he is the focus creature of the card. That's going to go in C. I've put that at the back of C. I'll probably rearrange that. Unleash Fury. There's a really nice sense of impact where the punch is being landed. There's rippling effect on their flesh. There's a rippling effect of heat in the air. The hairstyle of the human's quite cool. Really nice action shot of a piece. This one I'm going to chuck in A. I'm actually going to chuck this top of A. There we go. Volcanic Geyser. Yeah, this one's quite good. I think I'm just going to chuck this in B. Lower end of B, around about there. That's where we've got things. Volcanic Salvo. I like this one better, and for me that's in the detail of the fire and the magma. Again, it's not these blown out bright blotches of colour where it's almost like we've taken a photo of it and it's become overexposed to the lens. Like, this is like we're able to see it with our eyes. Like, you can see the detail, you can see the different colours of light. The smoke is amazing, the ash, the bits of rock in the magma bowl. I'm gonna put this one in S actually. I really like the design of this magma in the center, in the foreground. Chandra, Heart of Fire. Oh. Okay, so I thought it was the Planeswalker deck Chandra that had the hair I didn't like. Turns out it's the premium borderless Chandra that I don't like the hair. Yeah, that's a shame. I don't like their hair. I don't like their facial expression. To be honest, I don't like their pose. I don't like the fire that they're wielding either. I think the background's pretty empty. It's got the rocks with the light coming through them on the left. That's amazing. That's really interesting. but there's hardly any of the card is taken up by that. I'd like to see more of that in the background. The rest of the background's just, you know, it's almost like a photo day gradient where you have just the greys blotching with whites. The rendering of Chandra's costume, that's actually really nicely done. I like the light on the metal at her hip, but you'd think that light would be a little bit more orange. The light is nice and orange in her left underarm. That's disappointing. Wow. Yeah, I'd actually say this is more like the Liliana Planeswalker deck, Liliana. That was just, yeah, really not great. I'm actually going to chuck this down in C. Chandra Flames Catalyst. See, this is the look of Chandra that I like more. The art, not necessarily like this art piece of her look, but like this look in general, with just, you know, the regular hair, the Pyromancer's goggles, the more darker tones of red for her. This art itself is not amazing still compared to some of the ones we've seen. Obviously, the art in the other core set, core set 2020, which was the Chandra set, that was really cool art. But yeah, this is the look of Chandra I prefer in my opinion. This card in particular, I think I'm going to chuck in the middle of A. Lower middle should be about there. Where was... So our Chandras, we've got this one. You know what? I actually like this one more this time around. Again, I like this look of Chandra more, but I think this art is done better. But then this one, I'm sorry, that's disappointing for me. Chandra's Firemaw. This is another one of those ones where you've got a creature and they've slapped Chandra in the background because there's lots of cycles of Chandra's Magma, Chandra's Piling, Chandra's Firemaw. There was like Teferi's Protege, Liliana's Standard Bearer. That's just what they're doing in this set, so that's fine. We've got a little Chandra in the background. The actual design of the Helion itself, I really like. I really like the rocks like crumbling away from its outside. It was clearly just underground. And yeah, the magma light seeping through from its scales, I think that's really cool. I always like it when there's fire inside a creature. I'm going to put this in A. This set has a lot of A's for me. Yeah, a lot of A's. I'll probably move the lower end down to B, and then probably move the lower end of B down to C. I tend to do that in my second pass, but unfortunately not too many S's. I think maybe this one and this one could go up to S. Anyway, we'll get to that in a sec. We've only got 2 more cards. Keral Keep Disciples. Yeah, I'm not crazy about this card. I'm going to actually put this lower end of B. It'll probably end up in C, so I'm going to move it to C now. Stormcaller, Ogre Shaman. That's quite cool. I really like his expression. He's got like a mad expression and like the Doc Brown wisps of white hair. This lightning seems to be referencing, just in my opinion, referencing like the lightning bolt art lightning. It's just that very similar style of it that I think would be intentional to call back to that card. And I think that's a really nice style for it. Yeah, I like this. This is going to go in A. Okay, let's get reorganizing. So our S's, love the Goblin card, love this fire effect, love this fire effect. The dynamic effect of this card is quite nice, and the lighting and the action in this is also nice. I think I'm going to move this one up, switch this one, but keep this one here. This dragon is actually going to go down a bit. Fire Emancipation's actually done really well. It's not often you get just a landscape piece of fire and rock in red that's done so well. I think I'm going to move the Transmogrification or Transmogrify down to B, along with this one. The Fiend can stay at the top of B. Yep, looking good. There we've got the Sanctum. This is the new legendary red creature, which again didn't actually look that visually interesting herself. Brash Taunter, I liked the style of that. Okay, we're gonna move this Ogre, the Battle Rattle Shaman, and also the Bite and not Crash Through. Crash Through can stay in B. I think. Yep, I think that's good for B. Taking a look at C. Got the Carol Keep people. I think the order of C is pretty okay. I am going to move this one up into there, along with this one. Turret Ogre I don't think should be at the bottom of it. Actually, we'll keep Turret Ogre at the bottom of C and we'll move some things beneath it to D. I think this Shock Art has run its course. I think the Spellgorger Weird Art's not that great either. And I don't like the proportions of Onake Ogre. And this, yeah, this one, I can't even remember what it's called. But that's the bottom for me. Don't think it's gonna go in F, but yeah, the Flame Fist effect, not great in my opinion. Cool. So these are my rankings for the red cards of Core Set 2021. Let me know what your rankings would be in the comments below. Please leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, next video will be the last one of this cycle. Actually, we'll have two more. We'll do green cards and we'll do we'll combine colorless and multicolor and the lands as well. We'll all put in one. So until then, stay safe and enjoy your games.